Our next speaker is Mr. Andre Bauer, who many of you know as the former South Carolina Lieutenant Governor. And we welcome him to our Tax Day rally. Please give a warm welcome to Andre Bauer.
Thank you, thank you. Hey, Mike. Thank y'all for coming out. Thank you for getting involved. We need more people like this. I spoke in a church not too long ago, and I said if there were more people on the inside of the church, there'd be less problems on the outside of the church. And we need to do all we can to get more people active. And I also think we need to do a better job of vetting our candidates. We continue to hear people run under conservative title, whether they call themselves any party. They'll say they're conservatives or Republicans. But I can tell you, folks, after fighting in Columbia for many years, my own party, over $2 billion in taxes proposed by Republicans that I had to rule out of order, we need to do a better job of vetting our candidates. Everybody's going to tell you that comes before you they're for less government. Some of them who their very first vote they ever took was to raise taxes. So I challenge you. I'd say ask them what they're willing to cut. It's easy to say you're for less government, higher education. Give me the vehicle in which you're going to use to get there. Name names. Tell me where you're going to cut, because the problem is when you start telling people what you're going to cut, you start losing voters. The hardest thing in politics to say is no. I've got a history of doing it. Sometimes it's been politically incorrect. Sometimes people have challenged me for what I said, but I said what I believed, and I talked about where we really needed to cut as a government. And I made a couple of them up, a list on my way over here, and I thought, let's see what you think, because I'd love for you to pull me aside afterwards and tell me what you think we can live without as a government. How about the Department of Energy? You think we need that? Department of Education? How about this? Don't you think the private sector could do a good enough job when you get off the interstate now of finding somewhere to get a cold drink or somewhere to use the restroom? Let's get rid of the rest areas. Let's quit paying the water bill, the power bill. Let's lease that space out, or heck, let's sell it and pay down the national debt. Let's get creative if we're really going to talk about cutting. Let's not keep saying we're going to cut, because everybody's going to say, the Democrats are going to say they're going to cut. They're going to cut taxes, but they won't tell you what they're going to cut to get there. How about embassy building around the world? Do we really need to keep putting embassies in all these countries that hate us so they can blow them up? Do we need to be the policing force around the world? I don't think so. I think we need to strategically decide where we're going to be and get our troops out of the rest of those areas. We shouldn't be the policing force for the world. Thank you. I'll take the applause. Please, please, don't stop. How about the UN? You think we need to be in there? How about welfare? Don't you think they ought to have drug testing for it? Don't you think we ought to really look at who should be and shouldn't be on there? If you're disabled and you really can't care for yourself, then of course we need to help those people. But if you're going to be on welfare, we need to go back to something like the CC camp, where you actually, something is expected of you. You improve our park systems, you clean up something, you do something where you create something back for the taxpayer. You make there be some type of expectation. For too long we've rewarded bad behavior, but we haven't rewarded good behavior. We've got to get creative. Look, people love to criticize when people come up with new ideas. You won't agree with every idea I have, but I will try to do something. I will take on challenges. As your lieutenant governor, I took on a job that was purely ceremonial. I came to you as a 32-year-old young man, and I said, I'll do something with the job. And everybody said, yeah, right, well, we'll give them a chance. We did something. We took an agency that was overspending money. First thing I did was I renegotiated the lease, moved us into a different building. Curtis Loftus was running the agency at the time. I got him in there to run the agency. We reduced the rent by $40,000 a year, folks. Isn't that what Republicans do? We reduced the number of employees substantially. Guess what else we made them do? When we made our own agency mad in each county, we said, you're going to have to tell who it is that you're giving services to. You know what? The numbers actually went down to the people they were providing for. You know why? Because they actually had to start being accountable. They had to tell us who they were providing for. We made them give the last four of their Social Security number. So a lot of people will give you a great dog and pony show about what they'll get done. I can tell you I've gotten it done. I'm probably the only politician that will come before you and tell you I actually went without the paycheck. As a lieutenant governor, when the state was running lean on money, I opted not to take the paycheck. I didn't take the travel money. I didn't take the computer, the phone. Are Republicans really going to be Republicans, or are we just going to hear more of the same? Folks, I ask you to look into these candidates very carefully. You can call me at home. My home number is 903-7777. You can ask me anything you want. I'm very passionate about where this country is going. Thank you for being a part of fixing the problems we have. God bless.
Thank you, Andre.